good to be with you on Leadership Perspectives again this month. Just wanted to talk to you briefly about worship, so vitally important for what's happening in our services. We know that worship, as far as what we used to call song service, is so crucial in setting the stage for what happens in the ministry of the Word. For me, one of the most important aspects of worship is to whom are we directing our singing? Is it praise songs? Thank you, Lord, for what you've done. Or are we saying, Lord, I love you, I worship you, and I adore you? Probably the most important part of a worship leader's life is what happens when nobody's looking. Years ago, as I was serving at Pleasant Valley Church in Niles, Ohio, Kenny was our worship pastor. I would slip in on Friday mornings, 5:30, 6 o'clock before our prayer times, and Ken was already there. He was sitting at the grand piano down on the platform, spotlight on the piano and him, everything else in the sanctuary dark, and I was able to slip into the back row, and he would hardly notice that I was there, and I would just listen to him as he worshiped the Lord, sometime for well over an hour, hour and a half before our prayer time started. And then on Sundays, when he got to the platform and was leading the congregation in worship, I noticed he was just doing the same thing in public what he had done in private. He was just taking us where he had already been. He was walking us into the presence of God, and it was very easy to lose track of the fact that he was leading us. Our focus really was on who the Lord was and our love for him. In our congregations is our worship leaders, our ushering our people into the presence of God. It's not something that they can just turn on a tape or they can step up and do just because they know the song or the worship chorus. It's really born out of a heart of adoration to the Lord. It's those private times. That's what sets the stage for the ministry of the Word. It's more than the music. It's more than the words. But it is the spirit of the individual who's leading us. I think it's important too that when we are worshiping and when we're leading worship, that we understand the dynamic of what the words are saying as well. I've been in some worship services that just feel so sweet and tender. They feel like that love song that probably no guy is going to enjoy. I want to challenge you in your church. I believe our God is a masculine God. He's a majestic God. He's an awesome God. There's one song that talks about that sloppy wet kiss that just turns my stomach. I can't see how that can be a worship song. So just to encourage you, let the worship be over the majesty of God, the power, the authority, the glory of God. And let it be born out of a heart that has come from an intimate time of worship with Him. So that when we usher people into the presence of God, it's just because we've been there, we know the way, we know the path, and they're just going to follow us where we've already been. Love you, and here's to being a worshiping people who deeply and passionately love Jesus. God bless you.